Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can see from the title of this video, change. So with that, I'm going to be changing the format of my videos moving forward. It's going to be less scripted and more conversational based. I just felt like I was talking very robotically, and so I wanted this to be a little bit more humanized. So today I want to talk to you about change. I'm sure you guys have wanted to change something about yourself at some point in time in your life. There's always something that we humans don't like about ourselves and we want to change about it. And that's where I kind of want to tie this in with breakups. But it doesn't necessarily have to be just post-breakup. I just think that most of the time, after a breakup, especially those of us who was dumped, feel like there's something wrong with us. And so, of course, we highlight and pinpoint out all of the things that we don't like about ourselves, and we try to work on it and change in hopes of winning back the object of our love, our ex. And that's a good start, but it's just a first step. And so I kind of just want to talk about it. In the past, I've heard a lot of people give really bad advice. Fake it till you make it. I think that's the worst mistake and worst advice anyone has ever given me. And the reason being is very short-lived. I understand what they mean. If you want to be successful, you emulate someone or something that's successful, a process, whatever, and over time, you'll be able to embody success, and then you will eventually be successful. And I understand, I get that to a certain degree, but again, it's very short-lived. It's not genuine and it's not true. And true change really comes from within you, mentally and emotionally. So, of course, there's 3 areas of change in life: professionally or academically. Second is physically. And third is emotional, mental. Professional and physically is the 2 easier ones. If you want to move up the financial ladder, of course you promote. If you want to get in shape, go to the gym, eat healthy, stay active. It's fairly simple. However, on the emotional and mental side, I think that's where many of us fall short. And it's only till recently now, especially with post-pandemic, that people are a lot more aware about mental health. And so I kind of just want to talk about change. Don't fake it till you make it. Change isn't something that happens overnight. It is a process, and it is an ongoing process for the rest of our life. And so, of course, the first step is to admit it, to accept it, and to be aware of it, especially for those of us post-breakup, right? There are things that your previous partner has told you, has complained about you, that they wished that you had worked on it. So, of course, initially, you want to work on it because you've lost the object of your love and you want them back. You're trying to entice them and trying to win them back. But eventually, you will begin to do it for yourself. And it's hard. I want you to know that the mental side of things is very, very hard because many of us aren't really raised or taught to fully grasp and understand our emotions. And I think women do a better job at understanding their emotions than men do, but it's still overall very, very challenging. So how do you go about this? You talk about it. Practice. Talk about your feelings. It's okay to talk about your feelings. And if you're uncomfortable with talking to personal friends, loved ones, family, talk to a professional. It's very, very helpful. And I wish that society can remove the stigma behind mental health, because mental health is very, very important. Growing up here in the States, our parents were immigrant parents, and they uprooted and they migrated here, whether it's from the war or whatever reason to escape persecution. They did what they had to do, and they're in a survival mindset. They needed to get to this country in order to provide and give a better future for their children. And it's very admirable, but it's flawed because the biggest challenge to many of us immigrant families is finance. And so growing up, our parents just told us, listen to the rules, go to school, get an education, get a good job, start a family. But they never really taught us how to understand our emotions, how to develop relations with other people. And we emulate what we see from our parents. We emulate what we see from our siblings and from other people. But many of us really have never seen a healthy relationship until now. And of course, social media and media in general doesn't really help. They provide us with this fantasy and idea of love. But that's where it really comes down to is love. Like learning to love yourself, learning to accept who you really are, your flaws and all. That's a really good place to start emotionally. Accepting that, yes, I am a flawed human being. There are things that I have done wrong in the past, and I forgive myself. And because I forgive myself, I've learned in that moving forward, I will no longer exhibit these tendencies, exhibit these behaviors, and engage in these sorts of actions. And even if you do them again, it is a reminder. Again, this is a process. This is an ongoing process for the rest of your life, and being aware of that. And I find that being open and honest with yourself and with others, especially those who are closer to you, is a really, really good start. Surround yourself with people who are very positive as well. In life, it's very, very easy to be negative. It's very easy to pinpoint things that you don't like about yourself, things that you don't like about other people, and things you don't like about society or just anything in general. And of course, people congregate together and they, talk about the bads, right? And the things that they wish could change. But instead, surround yourself by like-minded people who are willing to promote you, to lift you up. If you're having a difficult time mentally and you want to talk about your feelings and you talk and share this with your friends and they don't really know who to console you or comfort you, then it's fine. Forgive them. Move on to people that will be able to do so. If you find that you're in a group where you're the only one that wants to get active, to get healthy, to stay in shape, and none of them do, forgive them. And surround yourself with people who are more like-minded than you. And same thing applies to professionally and academically. Don't ever get complacent. Complacent really does kill progress. The moment you feel complacent is the moment you lose your progress. And it's very unattractive when you come across someone who's just very complacent and they tend to be very not negative and toxic, and they just kind of throw toxicity out there so that way they can make themselves feel better. They blame everyone else but themselves. So I hope you guys can change, and that change is hard, but change is also what's very, very interesting about life, is that nothing always stays the same. Nothing stays the same forever. Change is a constant. There are two constants in life, change and death. And so you can't change change. You can't change death. We all have a deadline. But what can you do now from this point on until that end? That's up to you.